we're going to probably watch it twice because it's a little bit hard to catch the first time, but I actually want to talk about this clip.
Okay.
Speak up when I hop about to cut, I promise I'm gonna speak up when I hop about to cut, I promise I'm gonna speak up when I hop about to cut, I promise I'm gonna.
I'm going to play this again. So obviously the premise is there's this trend where people put on the screen a phrase that people will say. Like, oh, I'm just too busy tonight. And then, oh, I got to go do whatever. And they're like, speak up, speak up, speak up. And then when the beat drops, it says, I just don't fuck with you. And they're like, say what you really mean. So this is what he hears from his partner, and here's what he thinks they should really be saying.
Speak up when I hop about to cut, I promise I'm gonna speak up when I hop about to cut, I promise I'm gonna speak up when I hop about to cut, I promise I'm gonna.
What do we think about this?
Can you tell me what that said? Because I had no idea.
He's just an old friend. I don't want to be mean. You don't have to be insecure, babe. These are obviously things that he's getting from her when he's like, hey, who is that? And hey, who are you texting? This kind of stuff. And then she says, why are you trying to control me? And then the very last thing is he says, say what you really mean. You really should be saying, I gaslight you whenever you try to set boundaries. The reason I wanted to share this clip is because the term gaslighting, I think, is overused a lot.
Definitely.
To the point where I didn't even learn the actual definition of it. So let's explain for the viewers.
Gaslighting. What gaslighting means is you're intentionally attempting to try to get someone to decrease the amount of trust they have in their perception of reality, like knowing what's going on. That can be as simple as like moving their phone from one room to the other and saying, oh, you moved it over there. And they're like, what the fuck? Am I going crazy? That's some real high-level gaslighting. Shout out to the pros out there.
City boy, city boy.
Yeah, it's like me telling you that curtain is brown.
So here's the...
And then you're saying, no, that's green. Like, you're delusional.
Right, yeah.
So here's the question that I want us to look at is she gaslighting him? Is it gaslighting, or is it like a defensive response? Just like, hey, look, you know, that's just an old friend. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You have to be so insecure. Are you trying to control me? Is that gaslighting someone, or is that just someone being defensive? Like saying, hey.
I don't think it's gaslighting.
I mean, unless the girl's in the wrong there and she's actually doing something sneaky, then
that's true.
Then it would be gaslighting because she's actually lying.
Is lying gaslighting?
I mean, not in every circumstance. Like you said, it's like trying to make someone believe something they're not. Like he's believing he's a friend. He's believing he's insecure for thinking that, you know, whatever. He's upset about his girl talking to another guy. So,
yeah. I
mean, it is kind of manipulative, but at the same time, like you said, it's a little overused, and this might not be the best spot to use it.
Because I think that relationships, communication, it's complicated already. So adding new terms onto things can make it even harder for you to understand your relationships. When someone says, you're just gaslighting me. When I say, like, if my girlfriend says, like, you know, why'd you fucking smile at that girl when she walked by? And I'm like, I probably wouldn't say this, but if I did say, like, babe, you don't have to be so, like, snarky and insecure. Mm-hmm. Like, if she's like, oh, like her therapist is like, oh, he's just gaslighting you, you know, like, it's adding such a weird delusion to the world. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely. Especially, I mean, I get what you're saying now with that, like, if you heard that word from a therapist, you should just leave the room, I feel like.
Just
leave the room.
Yeah, if your therapist is using TikTok vocabulary, get the fuck out.
And, I mean,
I think it just depends on the intentions of that person. And, like, setting boundaries to the point where you're not suffocating that person. Like, I do boundaries, but not to the point where, like, you're not actually dating the person you're dating. You're just changing them into who you want them to be.
But here's the specific thing is, like, what's the likelihood that someone is truly trying to, like, if you come at someone about something, like, who the fuck is that? Like, why are you texting that person? You know what I'm saying? Like, first off, that's, like, kind of out of left field. You don't own that person. You know what I'm saying? Just be like, hey, who's Timothy? You're texting Timothy a lot, right? Like, even if that person does think Timothy's hot shit, and even if they kind of like Timothy, he's kind of cool, and that might be the next option when they diss this relationship. If you're like, hey, who's Timothy? And like, oh, he's just a friend. No worries. Is there a difference between lying and defending yourself versus gaslighting? Like, is that an attempt to make you lessen your trust and your perception of what is going on? Or is it just me lying because get off my fucking cheese?
I think that's gaslighting. Because you have the intentions of being with Timothy after you break up with her.
So I'm saying, but I'm saying, like, if
it's not actually a
You're
friend,
asking
you
if-
have premeditated feelings.
like, should we
Yeah.
replace the English word in the English dictionary with gaslighting? Oh, you're gaslighting. Hey, when are you going to be there? I'm going to be there at 4:30. Oh, you gaslighting me. No, he's not. He's just fucking lying. He's just fucking lying. It's not gaslighting. It's fucking lying.
Right.
Right?
I mean, there should be a clear
agree with that.
definition. Like the definition that you gave was really good because instantly what pops in my head when someone talks about gaslighting is just lying.
It's just lying.
And that's where, like you're saying, it's overused. Too many people get those two words mixed up. Like,
Here's why the word gaslighting exists is because people are naive. And so when people lie to them, they don't have any reserves of mistrust where they go, you could be lying to me. So they fully trust it, and then they allow that person's words to create the reality. If I say, hey, babe, who's Timothy? Right? You text, what's that little TikTok? It's like, who's got you smiling like that? And it's like, la, la, la. Like, I know you texting Timothy a lot.
that's
What up?
Timothy.
Yeah, shout out Timothy. What's good, bro? I'm coming for your ass. It's like,
Wait, your girl and Timothy are not here right now. Braxton is on the move, going to get Timothy right now. If you're out there watching this, he's coming.
So look, here's the reason. Here's what I want to say. If you've currently used the term gaslighting in your own self-evaluation and spiritual growth and personal development, personal healing, ask yourself: am I using gaslighting? Listen to this very closely, people. Am I using gaslighting because I naively instill too much trust in the things people tell me so that it directly impacts my entire perception of reality? People just lie sometimes. It's not gaslighting. It's just lying. That's a whole nother issue, right?
Facts.
But doubling up on weird terms makes this whole world more complicated. Then you're arguing with someone and say, you're gaslighting me. You're like, I'm going to call you right now. Bitch, I'm just lying. Okay, I ain't fucking gaslighting your ass. I'm just lying.
Well, hey, wouldn't that be gaslighting from her end at that point? Trying to tell me that I'm gaslighting?
You see what I'm saying? It's like Spider-Man. Like,
Exactly. Like, wait, you were gaslighting? I was gaslighting.
so
Who
Y'all are
actually enjoys
explaining
this
the English
shit?
language, just having multiple terms for one thing.
that's hilarious.
Exactly.
This is the epitome of English.
This is why it's apparently the hardest language to learn, probably.
It's not.
It's not.
No.
This guy right here. Do we agree that we want to give this guy some boost? We want to say, hey, hell yeah, keep letting people know that when your girl defends her life and even lies to you, it's gaslighting? Or do you want to say, hey, bro, check your terms at the door? I'm saying poo-poo.
I'm going to say poo-poo. Just because the overall, it's poo-poo.
Yeah, it seems a little threatening, a little harsh.
A little harsh.
I'm saying poo-poo.
Gee, what you think in the back, man? Poo-poo.
Poo-poo is all around.
That's 5 out of 4 poo-poo right
Hey,
there.
this water is fucking poo-poo. Who actually enjoys this shit right here?
All right, let's go to the next clip.